Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been announced as Manchester United manager, instantly lifting the mood and making everybody excited about analysing, watching and going down to Old Trafford to see Manchester United play once again. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who'd have thought it was not my idea that we could bring this guy in at all. I was thinking it's probably going to be someone who's already at the club, someone who's already worked in the Premier League. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is actually an inspired appointment for Manchester United, because I'll tell you why. His job isn't to win the title for Manchester United, and he's not going to win the title for Manchester United in this short 6 months that he's going to be with us. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is to make Manchester United believe again, make this club believe that we are a good footballing club again, and to get the swagger back and the attitude back at Manchester United. And he's going to do that. Here's 5 things to expect from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. In at number 1 then is pressing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer likes to press. It's very fashionable to have a pressing football side, a gegen-pressing, a counter-pressing football side at the moment. And that's something that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thrives with. His Molde side are a team that likes to press from the front. Quite often you'll see when a team plays a 4-2-3-1 formation, that 2, generally considered as defensive midfielders, sit on this side of the halfway line. They sit back, they watch maybe the forward 4 players do a little bit of pressing. Not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In a formation that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plays with a 4-2-3-1, the 2 6s, if you like, are well into the opposition half. They're supporting the forward 4 players who are doing the majority of the press. They're really giving that support, which means that the rest of the defensive line can step up and keep it as a nice compact defensive shape when they're trying to win possession back, forcing the opposition to play a bit more of a risky ball than they wanted to into an area that we're already dominating with players, and then you've got a good chance of winning the ball back. Now, there's a hell of a lot of chances created with counter-pressing, and United have started to do it recently. We saw against Arsenal it was quite effective, and against Fulham it was pretty effective. But under Jose Mourinho, more often than not, Manchester United, in a bigger game, not in the smaller games, it wouldn't really happen, but in a bigger game, United would generally sit in that low block, typified in that Liverpool game where we just allowed them to come forward and come forward and come forward, and even coming straight into the box a little bit against Liverpool. That's not going to happen under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Pressing is the biggest thing that you're going to see. Number 2 then is, of course, playing out from the back. Now, as United fans, we have seen it a million times. One of the things that we always saw under Jose Mourinho was that big long pass from David De Gea direct to Marouane Fellaini or to Romelu Lukaku. And why we did it, I don't know, because Lukaku is not the sort of guy that can hold the ball up like that. We tried to turn a fox in the box into Didier Drogba, and it didn't work. And that is one of the major reasons why Lukaku has looked terrible for us, because we are not playing to his strengths. Now, the number 1 thing that you notice when you're looking at an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer side is that the goalkeeper is actually rolling it out to someone who's come close to him. Rolling it out. Not throwing it out, I mean literally rolling it 5 yards to someone who's come to collect from him. They like to dominate possession from the back, and it's quite a slow build-up. If we've just conceded an opportunity, we've maybe ended up with it in the goalkeeper's hands, we will then push forward a little bit, and a couple of them will hang back. And a couple of them will hang back into loads and loads of space and time. What I'm yet to see is how they react when they're pressed. Because you can't really do this against a Liverpool or even possibly a Manchester City, because they're going to try and win back that ball in that third where these players want that space and time. But in the Norwegian League, when Ole's been playing it with Molde, he's got loads of space and time, and they start to build up from the back. They play it back into the middle, they play it up to the forward, and then they get the ball down into the channels for overlapping fullbacks or for wide forwards before getting the ball in. He loves to use the channels, but it all starts with ball playing centre-halves at the back. This might not be a good time for the likes of Chris Smalling. There is some ball-playing defenders at Manchester United, and we might actually get to see what Lindelof and Bailly looks like. Now, Bailly's probably out of the doghouse, Mourinho's gone, and the best ball-playing defender that we've got, well, the best ball-playing defender that we've got was Daley Blind, and he's gone. But the best ball-playing defender that we've got left is Victor Lindelof, and I'm very interested to see how he does, given this sort of system. Number 3 then, the third thing that I expect you're going to be seeing then, or talking about at least, is rotation. Now, at Cardiff City, he was heavily criticised for over-rotating. Did not play the same 11 more than once when he was the Cardiff manager. And he rotated quite heavily when he was at Molde as well. Less so in his second stint at Molde because the squad is a little bit smaller, but he has been including a lot of the youth, and we'll get to the youth in a second. But rotation is one of the big problems that Cardiff fans saw with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There was one game they played well, they got a clean sheet, he rotated the entire defence and they conceded 4 goals in the next game. that was a source of a lot of frustration. Hopefully Ole has learned from that. But that's in stark contrast to what we had with Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho would not rotate certain players, and we saw the likes of Nemanja Matic and Romelu Lukaku run into the absolute ground. The same could be said with Zlatan Ibrahimovic to a certain extent as well in the season that he was here with us. Some players did not get any sort of rotation when they desperately needed it. So hopefully Ole's able to have learnt from his time at Cardiff, and we're going to see a balance struck between what Jose Mourinho has just been doing and what Ole did at Cardiff. So let's have some intelligent rotation this time around. In at number 4 then is youth. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been having quite a bit of success in both the stints that he's had. Not really so much with the Cardiff stint, which generally wasn't a success. But both the stints at Molde, he's been able to blood in some youngsters. Most notably recently, we've seen Braut Haaland, the son of Alf Inge Haaland, has been leading a line for Molde since he was 17. And this is a player that was linked with Manchester United in the summer. It didn't feel like it was a serious link. It felt like people was trying to play keyword bingo. There's loads of things to talk about with it. But Ole is playing the youngsters. He's actually getting out there and doing it. Now, Manchester United have got let's just say we have got the best youth academy in English football, and we've got some players that are absolutely crying out for games at the moment. Angel Gomez, Tahith Chong, even the likes of Axel Tuanzebe and Fosu Mensah who are out on loan, before we even start talking about the likes of Mason Greenwood. These are young players that we're not going to get a look in under Jose Mourinho. He's put them on the bench. He said he's not going to play them. He doesn't believe that a youngster can come off and score. Well, actually, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does, and maybe we're going to see this second coming of the class of 92. It's so unlikely that we're going to see a raft of youngsters debuted that then go on and win a European Cup in 5 years' time, but that's not the point. What we want to see as United fans is these good players that we know are deserving of a chance. Mason Greenwood is more deserving of a chance in the first team than any player I have ever seen in my life. His performance on Monday night against Chelsea, where he scored a hat-trick, was quite simply the most dominant performance I've ever seen from a young player in any game, let alone against a team that hasn't lost in the FA Youth Cup for more than 5 years. So Mason Greenwood, I would start brushing up on a little bit of Mancunian Norwegian, and I will see if you can make a new best friend out of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I do think there's a good chance you're going to see some youngsters debuted between now and the end of the season. And a fifth and final thing then that you might see when you're looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United, and how good does it feel to be saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United, the fifth and final thing that I expect you're going to be seeing is tactical flexibility. In 2016, Ole's Molde side played a 4-4-2. That was their default sort of system throughout the season. In 2017, they played 4-3-3 as their default. This season, you've seen 4-2-3-1, but that doesn't mean he doesn't play other formations. This season, they've basically played every single formation in the book, from 3-5-2, 3-4-3, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 4-1-4-1. They've played literally every single formation that you can think of, and I think that bodes well. I think it shows that Ole is evolving as a coach. I think it shows that he's picking the formation to suit the team. He's not married to any particular one system. And I expect that Manchester United are probably going to start with his current favourite of 4-2-3-1 this weekend against his old club Cardiff. What an unbelievable coincidence that it is that he gets to go up against his former club. And the fans are being a bit chipper online about him. So let's hope that we can stick 4 or 5 past them, giving them an absolute pasting, and get the Solskjaer reign off to an absolute flyer. Let me know in the comments the sort of things that you're expecting to see under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reign at Manchester United. It's going to be 6 months. It's going to be short. Is it going to be sweet? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.